Hi, I'm Kayla, and this is my husband Corey, and this is Oliver. He has Dravet syndrome. And this is Olivia, and Emerson, and Elsie, and Avery, and Maylee, Oliver's service dog in training. And this is our life with Dravet.
Welcome back. So today I want to actually go over what it looks like to get your genetic test results from the sample that we had sent in from our previous video. We had a suggestion that we should make a follow-up, and we had every intention of doing it, and so here we are. Today I'm going to show you what the process looked like, how to kind of get that information, and so you can see kind of how easy it was to go about kind of navigating the website and getting the information that we wanted. So we're going to go ahead and dive right in. Okay, here we are. This is the home page for the Invitae company, their website. And this is a website where you can come to track your genetic sample and get your test results once it has been analyzed by the lab. Now I've already created an account, but this is where you could come, create an account, set up everything, look through the different test options, order a test, talk to a genetic counselor, and so this is really a good website. So as we go to the My Account page, this is what my dashboard looks like. So we have my current tests, things we're ready to view details and look over the results. Here's where you can get a new test, you can register a test you already have, you can pay for a test, and you can even find a provider. Up at top, you can look through guides and resources, genetic counseling, and so you can schedule a visit. And if you're not sure what test to do, this is where the genetic counselor can be really helpful to guide you of what kind of test or test panel would be recommended. So I'm going to click here on the My Tests. And that brings us to this home page. This shows us that my report has been released, my report status. So we see that I submitted my sample on the 19th of October. The sample was received on the 30th of October. The lab began processing it on the 30th of October, and then it took a couple weeks, and the analysis and interpretation was ready by November 13th. And then it went into clinician review. And this really just depends on who placed the order. So if this order was placed by your primary care doctor, somebody else who was ordering the test, then they have an opportunity to review that and decide whether or not to release those results to you or review those with you kind of in person or over the phone. In my case, since I did it on my own and it was the company that did it, after a few days of review by their genetic counselors and or the clinician that placed the order for me, then that report was released. Up at the top, we can look right next to the test status, the genes that were analyzed. In our case, because my son is a known carrier of the SCN1A gene mutation, which is a gene that presents itself as Dravet and that intractable epilepsy, we knew exactly what gene to look for. That's the conversation we had. They were able to do a really focused assessment, so it wasn't quite as long. They were able to just look to see if I was a carrier for that particular gene mutation. However, my son underwent the testing. He did a full, complete gene panel looking for any genes that are known to express epilepsy, kind of help give us any answers. And so you really can be as broad or as focused as needs be, and that's where if you're not quite sure, talking with a genetic counselor about the different options can be really helpful. And then you have the documents, where we look at the report that's ready. This is where I could also see my out-of-pocket expense before the report was there. And it was really nice. We did it through insurance just because of our situation, and we were hoping to get a little bit covered. Didn't end up really making that much of a difference. But even once we submitted with the insurance, they were able to gave us a very detailed out-of-pocket cost expense, and then also gave us an out-of-pocket kind of cash pay, bypassing the insurance at a reduced rate, or we could continue with the insurance and likely paying that out of pocket. And so even there, once we had decided, we still had opportunities to pay out of pocket. And so the rates were reasonable, and it was only a few $100s for our case. And it may be just because we were doing a very focused panel versus a large kind of panel, but it's nice that they give you lots of options on how to pay. So then when we click on download report, I've already downloaded mine so I could block out some of the important information. But there you go. It shows you the different information, the sample collections and the occasion date, a little more detail in the variants and the genes that were looked at. And then it's whether it is pathogenic or non-pathogenic, meaning is this a trait? In this case, pathogenic trait for seizures. So that's what we're looking for. And the result, it was not detected. My result was negative, and then it talks a little bit about what that means, and then recommends talking with a genetic counselor or your primary care if you have any questions. And so the nice thing is I was able to talk to a genetic counselor beforehand. With it being negative, there really wasn't anything else to discuss with them. But if it was positive and I wanted to see, well, what does this mean for future kids and my possibility of passing this on? Should I have my other children tested? Anything like that? Then I could schedule an online appointment to talk with a genetic counselor about the results and all those meetings. And so it's really nice because we were able to do everything, order the test, submit the test, and did it all from the comfort of our home and then get our results. And you can see from the very beginning, it took about a month from when we go back to test status, from when we ordered it and actually submitted it to when I was able to actually get the report. And so it's not quickly, but I feel it was actually very reasonable, and the pricing was very reasonable given kind of the options. And so there you have it. Very easy, simple, straightforward. A company I'd highly recommend. I would absolutely use them again. Full disclosure, I have no skin in the game for this particular company. Just happened to be the one that worked best for our family, the one that was easiest and most convenient, and happened to be a company that we had gone through unbeknownst until we were actually looking into it, of where our son got his genetic testing done through a children's hospital, and where my wife's sample ended up getting sent through her primary care. So if it's good enough for the children's hospital, it's good enough for me. And really, it was very, very reasonably priced. And so if you're looking for any kind of really genetic testing, there is tons of out there. I highly recommend you look into this particular company. Or really, I mean, any genetic testing. It's amazing now how much you can do without having to go directly through your doctor. And again, they made it really easy to understand, and very straightforward. Thank you again for your comments. Thank you again for the suggestion on this video. I hope you enjoy. Please feel free to like below and comment if there's any other videos and things that you'd like to see. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel.